The Potters had finally arrived in the state of Harmony, the 51st state of the United States. It was a place they had heard so much about. And as they drove into Unity Lake, the neighborhood they had chosen to explore, they couldn't help but marvel at the surroundings. The futuristic landscape was filled with shimmering buildings that seemed to reach for the sky, each made of sleek glass and metal, surrounded by lush greenery and colorful gardens. The streets were clean, and everywhere they looked, there were smiling people riding autonomous scooters or chatting at open-air cafes. It was unlike anything they had seen before. Modern yet warm, advanced but still inviting. For the Potters, Harmony seemed like a picture out of a science fiction movie, but with a tangible sense of community. As they drove through Unity Lake, however, they started to notice that the neighborhood was predominantly composed of black families. This gave the Potters pause. They had never lived in a community like this before, and the realization made them question if they would fit in. The slight unease that arose wasn't out of malice, but rather uncertainty about whether they could integrate into a space so different from what they were used to. They watched as families gathered in groups, laughing together, their children playing along the park trails, seemingly at ease in a way the Potters weren't sure they could be. With every turn they made down Unity Lake's winding streets, they were both captivated by the beauty and charm of this new place, and slightly apprehensive about whether they belonged here. While the Potters were parked on the side of a scenic street, looking at their neighborhood map and debating what to do next, a cheerful voice interrupted their conversation. "Hi there! You look like you could use some help." They turned to see a family approaching them. 2 parents and a teenager, each of them with warm smiles. The father introduced himself as James Haynes, and the rest of his family followed, his wife Monica and their daughter Kayla. The Potters were slightly taken aback by the family's openness, but they found themselves instinctively smiling back. James explained that he and his family lived just around the corner, and had noticed the Potters driving slowly, appearing somewhat lost. They offered to show them around the neighborhood, and though the Potters hesitated for a moment, they found themselves accepting the offer, eager to know more about this new place. As the Haynes guided the Potters through the streets of Unity Lake, they pointed out key landmarks: the community center, local markets, and a beautiful waterfront park with children playing near the edge. James talked about how Unity Lake was known for its inclusivity and diversity, and how people of all backgrounds came together to make it the thriving, close-knit community it was today. Monica mentioned how Unity Lake was more than just a collection of beautiful houses and futuristic infrastructure. It was a place where people looked out for one another, and neighbors helped each other. The Potters were touched by the Haynes family's warmth and the love they clearly had for their neighborhood. It started to ease their hesitation. Maybe this could be home after all. The tour began in earnest, with the Haynes family leading the way. They strolled along wide sidewalks lined with lush gardens, filled with native and exotic plants that were tended to by members of the community. James pointed out the towering building at the center of Unity Lake that served as the community hub, a place where neighbors gathered for meetings, workshops, and even parties. As they walked, they passed the Unity Lake Library, a futuristic structure made entirely of recycled materials and adorned with murals that told the stories of the diverse people who lived there. The Potters were amazed by the seamless blend of technology and nature. Everything seemed designed to foster a sense of harmony between humans, the environment, and modern innovation. the Hayneses continued to show the Potters various spots, including the Unity Market, a bustling plaza full of small shops and food stalls selling a wide range of international cuisines. The market was a vivid display of the cultural richness of Unity Lake, with vibrant colors, tantalizing smells, and a joyful hum of activity as people moved about, chatting and buying goods. Monica explained that the market was a popular gathering spot, where everyone knew each other, and residents frequently supported local businesses. As the Potters took in the sights, sounds, and smells of Unity Market, their unease began to dissipate. It became clear that Unity Lake wasn't just a place where people lived, it was a place where people connected, cared, and celebrated their differences. The Potters could sense that there was a genuine sense of belonging here, and they began to feel a shift in their own perspective. The next stop on the tour was the Harmony Technology Center, which showcased some of the cutting-edge technology that made this state a beacon of progress and innovation. James enthusiastically explained that Harmony had been founded with the purpose of integrating advanced technology into everyday life, while keeping the needs of the community at its core. They approached a self-driving bus stop, and James waved at one of the buses as it glided to a halt without a driver in sight. Kayla, the Haynes' daughter, explained to the Potter kids how these buses operated using AI, and that anyone could request a ride simply by using a mobile app or one of the digital kiosks around the city. The Potters were fascinated, especially when Monica showed them a holographic guide stationed at the technology center. The guide offered information about upcoming community events, interactive maps of Unity Lake, and could even answer residents' questions in real time. The level of convenience, efficiency, and accessibility was unlike anything they had experienced before. It was impressive, yet there was a warmth to it all that made it feel less like a high-tech experiment and more like an extension of the neighborhood's hospitality. The Potters found themselves picturing their lives in such a place, a community at the cutting edge of technological progress while still retaining its soul, where everyone could benefit from these innovations. As the sun began to set over Unity Lake, James and Monica invited the Potters over for dinner at their home. The Potters hesitated for a brief moment, uncertain if it was too soon for such an invitation, but the Haynes were so warm and genuine that they found themselves accepting. Upon entering the Haynes' home, the Potters were struck by the blend of modern elegance and cultural heritage on display. The walls were adorned with beautiful artwork from Africa, while the sleek minimalist furniture and advanced smart home features spoke to the futuristic aspect of Harmony. There was a sense of balance, a true reflection of Unity Lake itself, where tradition and innovation went hand in hand. The aroma of freshly cooked food filled the air, and Mrs. Potter could see Monica in the kitchen, putting finishing touches on what looked like a feast. As they sat around the large dining table, the conversation flowed easily. Monica had prepared a traditional southern dish, fused with some modern twists, and it was served alongside some of the dishes the Potters had never tried before. There was a mix of laughter and curiosity as the Potters asked questions about the meal, with James explaining the origins of some of the ingredients, and Monica sharing anecdotes about her grandmother's cooking. The Potters, in turn, shared their own family traditions and spoke of their excitement and admittedly a bit of nervousness about moving into Unity Lake. As the evening went on, the initial hesitations seemed to melt away. The Potters felt at ease, realizing that despite any differences, they shared so much in common with the Haynes family: the desire for a safe, welcoming community, the love for their children, and a genuine interest in learning from one another. Over dessert, the Hayneses began to share more about the community of Unity Lake and what made it unique. Monica spoke passionately about the history of the neighborhood, explaining that Unity Lake was one of the first neighborhoods established when Harmony became a state. It was built on the idea of inclusivity, bringing together people from diverse backgrounds to create a space that would be forward-thinking in every way, from technology to education, while ensuring that no one was left behind. James added that the people here had come from all over the country, and even the world, to be part of something new, something that felt like the future America should strive toward. It was a place where cultures were celebrated, differences were embraced, and everyone worked together to make it the best it could be.